So, Touch of Math is the mathematics-based application we've been writing. It's in using JavaScript. It's a web-based application to manipulate equations using either a touch device or a mouse, depending on what you're on. So lately, what we've been doing is we've completely rewritten the code to do this. At first, there was a lot of specific. Everything was specific. Addition would need its own set of functions. Subtraction, multiplication. So just piling up too much. So we've rewritten it just to redefine operators in terms of like their arity, which is just the number of terms they take. So like addition would be 2, factorial would be 1. Like it would be unary, operator, binary, ternary for summation. We've also redone the front end. So instead of output, we've had to completely redo the data structures behind it. We use XML now to communicate with the front end rather than an array of a block class we've had. And then intended gestures. This is for just intended gestures. Which gestures did we add? I don't even remember.
Just click.
Yeah.
Drag.
Oh, we had something else. I guess not. Yeah, we've been working on intended gestures. This would be distribution, like how to recognize whether someone's trying to distribute or just switch 2 terms, like commute them. And then on the front end side, if you want to speak about that a little bit.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
So for the front end, we don't, the original demo from last semester used HTML5 canvas. We've moved to just using divs, and you manipulate the individual divs. Each div is a character or an operator, a clickable object, basically. And you can basically click them, drag them. As more gestures get coded in there, you'll be able to do more things. But for now, that's it.
Okay. So yeah, this was what we originally had. It was an HTML canvas, and the display was pretty limited. Division, which I didn't show, would just replace it with a divide sign, so it wouldn't really look like the way you would write it down on a piece of paper, which we didn't like. So that was another factor that influenced our decision to really switch to something more usable. Also, this was pretty slow on touch devices. The size of the canvas, you could run off of the canvas, which was bad, and it was just slow. So we decided to scrap it. Yeah, so here are some of the problems bugs we've just been fixing. So we support dragging operators, and it'll take all the terms associated with the operator. So in the first one, if you wanted to touch the minus sign, you'd be dragging the B and the C as well. And to replace on the other side, you would not have, that was what we originally had, and we had to switch it to something like this. So because of the, because addition would be commutative, you could just switch operators, and or associative too. You can combine B plus C before you do A plus B, but it's not the case with subtraction, which is the inverse of addition. So we have to, things like these were causing lots and lots of code. Each multiplication has its own set. Exponents too. You would have, since it's not associative, you would have to drag all terms associated on the right side. So there were so many just different cases for each operator. We had to really redo pretty much everything. So yeah. Right. So over the next 2 weeks and month, we've set up a couple more goals. So for 2 weeks, we want to really start with one-sided operations. So this would include commutativity, distribution, things of that nature. Recombining variables and method of solution too. So yeah, simplification as well. Finding a method of evaluation. I haven't really been able to find any JavaScript libraries that can solve math. So I've been writing a method of solution for each operator myself. I don't know if that's the best way to do it or not, but because it would limit the amount of operators we can have. So until I find something better, we're not sure what we're going to do with that. And then implementing touch gestures, since this should be a mobile or a device best used on like a touch piece of hardware or hardware that has a touch screen. We have to implement those gestures. They haven't been added into the front end yet, but it should be coming soon. And yeah, we don't really push our code to get error. We just put it on as error. So we're going to start doing that. Also blogging about it. We've been kind of bad. And over the next month, implementing multi-touch gestures. So this would allow 2 terms to be put together, pulled apart, really taking advantage of what multi-touchscreen can do, and then just features such as printing the steps at the end of your solution, an undo feature, redo feature, and things like that. So, yeah, that's really it. Yeah, we'll have a demo.
My web browser doesn't work that well, so you have to use Safari.
Okay,
That's good.
That's a good thing.
That's what I tested it in.
I broke Chrome.
I don't want to know.
Here you go, rack and roll.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Narrate, now do
Alright.
Alright, so you have this text input. Basically, you type in the equation that you want. You click the display button, it displays it. And then you can manipulate it. You can drag the A over, subtract it over. Go back the other way too.
Yeah,
You
the
want
division, yeah, sure. So, so for division, this looks more natural. Just putting the B underneath the A. You can still drag it over. So just more user-friendly. Looks a lot better than the canvas. It's a lot easier to do it using just the divs than on the canvas do. We have other operators like this. We can display this is equal to I. And this, it would normally drag the entire thing, but we haven't implemented that yet. So you would get something like this. Let me put it back. No. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. That's really
mathematically true.
Yeah. So that's
What are all the buttons up on the top here, that back end that you generate?
So that shows the steps of. It's more for debugging. I go through different steps. I have a step where it slides everything over, and then it converts it all to absolute coordinates, so that it's easy to drag and things like that.
Yeah, it won't be in an actual version.
I kept that in case it broke while I was doing the demo.
Yeah.
Well, I commend you on your move to divs from the canvas. It seems much more natural for this application. But I'm wondering, are you relying on any JavaScript libraries?
No.
Tools or anything like that?
Just jQuery.
Yeah.
jQuery?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you tried complicated expression?
Um.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah. So you're gonna take the B or make it
B.
or the
Either one.
bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Can you drag private parentheses?
No,
No, but these aren't clickable.
are currently not. Yeah.
So because they're not really.
They shouldn't even
yeah.
be there for this case,
Yeah.
in terms of human readable. But I don't know why it doesn't want to drag. The A will go over.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, we're still having a couple issues with the front end, but it's been
Some layering
coming along,
issues, things not detecting that it's been dragged over because it's on top of it as opposed to under it, things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Curious. I've never tested this.
Yeah,
Oh.
so,
What happens if you drag the one over now?
you just
This one? I just.
Yeah.
A work in progress.
Yeah.
What happens if you drag the one from on top away?
And just
It puts it back in.
So, this should all be cleaned up.
That's where the evaluation would come
Yeah.
in handy, because you can evaluate divided by 1 and the -0 from before.
Since we don't have the one-sided operations, like I would assume that you need to clean them for one-sided too, so I didn't want to just put them into a traversal across an equal sign. I'd rather have one-sided operation working first before cleaning an expression. So.
So that brings in, you can use, try continued fashion, that would be an interesting thing. 1 over 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1 over. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So does it also work on touch screen or?
Not yet. We haven't put the gestures in,
Okay.
but because we still have problems like
That.
huge.
Yeah, in terms of doing layout and stuff like that, have you looked into JS Math, which is a JavaScript LaTeX parser?
Yeah, we looked at things like that. We looked at MathJack specifically,
Okay, yeah.
and it was really great at displaying it, but our issue was we couldn't tie the front end back to the back end.
Yeah, I imagine.
So when you click on something, it was just an A. Like we didn't know where it was in the internal tree, you know, where. Semantically, we didn't know what it was.
Okay.
So we just wrote our own.